brand new all-time high for Bitcoin, but I don't know if you can get rich buying Bitcoin at this point. So I got 3 altcoins that are going to change people's lives. And as you can see here, Bitcoin just went on a tear over the weekend. Bitcoin trading over $120,000 at some points. You flip into the 24-hour chart, you can see right there around 3-4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Bitcoin set a record $122,000. But let's talk about 3 altcoins that are poised for magnificent breakouts, and these are going to be how I'm trading these tokens. So the first tokens we're going to find is just by clicking the 7-day chart here. Now, looking at the last 7 days, these are the cryptos that have pumped harder than anything else. And so we're going to the top of the list and talking about XLM, HBAR, and SUI, and I might even give a warning about Algorand. But let's start with the lowest of the week, SUI. Now, SUI, actually one of the biggest gainers, actually the biggest gainer today. SUI is up 15%. But what do the charts tell us about SUI? Is SUI a good buy under $4? Let's dive in. Now, right now, there is a lot of leverage on people longing SUI. You can see here, this is millions of dollars that is going to get liquidated if SUI's price comes down this low. So it might need to sweep this liquidity before it goes to its next move. And its next move is probably going to be quite phenomenal. So we're going to just look at a classic trading pattern here, where we're going to measure the distance of this wedge, look at the breakout right here, and then give ourselves a SUI target for this cycle. And so we go from where there's a maximum height there on the top, and then we go all the way down to the bottom, and make sure we're on a regular chart, not logarithmic, and then put it right here at the breakout. And then scroll on up, and you're going to see our SUI target $7.50. And I love that target personally. But, if we do zoom in on this chart and look at the 4-hour candle, you can see, we're still trying to confirm the breakout. This might dip below, so just keep an eye out on this range as we see if the bulls or the bears are going to be in control. Now, the next token also crushing it this week. It is up 50% this week, and we're talking about Hedera, aka HBAR. Now, let me know down in the comments if you're an HBARbarian. It's been a while since we talked about HBAR, so let's go ahead and do some levels, and let's just see what is the next level. People are going to be looking to take profit on HBAR. Now, the first thing I'm looking at is going to be some short resistance that we're going to be knocking up against pretty soon, and then we're going to look at a target above this, and then we'll look at XLM and Algorand. These tokens are going crazy, but HBAR has this point of resistance. You can see this was resistance right here. This is in March 2025, acted as support, but it's how it behaved last cycle that really makes this level a very, very important area to watch. You can see, during the bear market, tried 1, 2, 3 times to burst above this area, and then just boom, was not able to do it. And you can see also, important level previous pump before then too. So 26.5 cents is going to be an important level to pass. But now let's go to the next range. So where does it go after that? And for that, we're just going to look at a long time frame trend line. For that, I would look at the weekly chart and come into this wick right here, hit perfectly against this candle body, which will take you against those other wicks, which will take you perfectly to this candle body. And so to me, this is looking like a pretty strong trend line here. And so after 26.5 cents, the next level for HBAR is going to be around in the 31, 32 cent range. So that's where I would be looking to take a lot of XLM. So that's where I'd be looking to take some of my HBAR profits. One thing you need to be wary of HBAR compared to last cycle is there are tokens being issued. Last cycle, we didn't have 42 billion tokens released, and eventually there's going to be 50 billion tokens. And so if you go from the price of the token to the market cap, you can see, all right, well, HBAR feels like it has room to run, just looking at the token price. But by market cap, you can see, oh, well, the previous pump, that was an all-time high for HBAR. So just an important distinction. Make sure you pay attention to the market cap of HBAR. All right, and the last token is the most bullish for the week, and that's going to be XLM. Now, a little bit of a pullback, but that is definitely going to be expected after you pump 83% in a week. So congrats if you've been holding XLM. In fact, you're up 339% over the last 12 months. Now, SUI and HBAR, we're kind of like looking at a trend line about to be breached, or a trend line we're like knocking against right now. But XLM was a clean breakout. That's the weekly chart there, and you can see on the daily, spent a long time trying to get against this range. It's been a long time trying to go above this range, and then the more you knock on the door, typically speaking, especially with trading crypto, the harder you're going to open that door, and it opened that door like the Kool-Aid man coming through the wall. Kool-Aid to the rescue. So the next level for XLM, pretty obvious, we're kind of knocking against this swing high right there. So, just maybe in this range is going to be the next, short-term target is going to be in the 60 cents range. But let's look at a long-term target, because there is definitely a multi-cycle, long trend line here that I think a lot of traders are going to be paying attention to. I know I'm going to be paying a lot of attention to this. And so to me, this looks like a better short-term target for XLM. And if you're wondering where's that price related to today, it's up about 33%, and that's going to be right around 63 cents. So XLM pump, a lot of it has already happened. I would wait to trade a breakout from this range if you're very, very bullish on XLM. HBAR, definitely a lot of room to go before we hit this 32 cent range, but very easily maybe the best move is just going to be getting some SUI. If I could only choose one of those 3 altcoins, I would choose SUI. Look around that $7.50 range for profit there. But that's all we got. I'm DZ for Discover Crypto. Hopefully I'll see you and your diamond-handed strong altcoins at the top.